Hello everybody, welcome to True Fan Form. I'm your host Jay. In this video, I want to talk about the recently released comic book Dissension, War Eternal, published by Aspen Comics. Now this is issue 1 of, I believe, a 6-issue miniseries. Now before I talk about the comic book, I want to talk a little bit about the publisher, Aspen Comics. And honestly, I have to say, I really don't have much experience with this particular publisher. In fact, the sum total of my experience is pretty much confined to a couple of free comic book day specials. However, I have to say that based on my very limited knowledge of Aspen, I'm intrigued by them and I'm very interested in reading more. Now, there are a few things that intrigue me about Aspen Comics. First off, there's the artwork. Now, based on the comic book special, the free comic book day specials, and the ads for other comics and pictures of their titles, the artwork strikes me as, by and large, absolutely beautiful. I mean, I look at the comics, the ads. I just look at it and go, oh my gosh, this is fantastic. Oh, this is gorgeous work. I mean, honestly, folks, Aspen must hire some of the most talented artists in the business. Simply wonderful artwork. Eye-catching, really draws me in. So, yeah, just mwah. Love it. Now, the second thing that interests me about Aspen is the fact they don't seem to do superhero comics. Instead, they do other types of comic books. They have fantasy titles, sci-fi titles, supernatural titles, a varied group of comic books that I am intrigued by because as much as I love superheroes, and believe me, I love superhero comics, I also love other genres. And I love to pick up a fantasy title or a sci-fi title just for the variety of it, to see something different, something new. So the fact that Aspen does a variety of titles interests me and intrigues me and, again, catches my eye as much as the, again, stunning artwork. So I like that. Now, the third thing I have to say that draws me to Aspen is the fact that a lot of their titles, if not perhaps all, but certainly the bulk of their titles, seem to feature women as the central character, the protagonist. And I have to say, I'm okay with that. Now, I know there are some people who will see that and think, oh, well, maybe this is a comic book meant solely for women. Or, and worse, they might look at it and say, oh, this is SJW, or this is identity politics, or blah, 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 blah. I hate that. And you know what? I'm not going to do that because you know what? That's stupid. Because I don't feel that way. I don't feel that these comic books should only be read by women or that they're SJW. No. I don't have a problem with that, with reading a comic book or seeing a comic book that has a female protagonist. That doesn't bother me. I mean, and it's not going to particularly stop me from reading them. Because, hey, as long as the artwork is good, as long as the story is good, as long as the characters are compelling, I will read it. And if it's a good comic book, I will applaud it and I will keep reading it. So I don't have a problem with the idea of a female main character. In fact, I applaud Aspen for doing that, for featuring so many female characters, which, by the way, seem to be by and large kick-butt type of women. Very interesting characters, from what little bit I can tell. I have no, that's cool. That's great with me. I can certainly see the idea of perhaps wanting to reach out to, to a group of two women and say, hey, if you don't think comic books are for you, well, here's some titles with a strong female character. Please read, see what you like. Maybe you'll get drawn into comic books. Because that's what I want. I want everybody to read comic books. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're a man, a woman, white, black, gay, straight, whatever. I love comic books so much and I want to share it with the world. And I want as many people to read comic books as possible. And I want to see a variety of characters in these comic books. I don't want to see the same type of person in all comic books. I want to see variety. I want to see different types of characters. I want to see different types of protagonists. So again, I'm drawn to Aspen because they're doing something different. They have so many very interesting, I can tell, compelling characters. So again, to sum it all up, Aspen Comic Books has beautiful artwork, a variety of titles that step away from your more classic superhero, and they feature very interesting women protagonists. Put it all together, and I really want to look for more Aspen comic books. I want to buy more of their work. Whether it's back issues, perhaps add some newer titles to my pull list, or buy trades. I'm really very much interested in learning more about the company and see what they have to offer. It's gonna kill my bank account, but ah well, hey, I work, so what do I care? So again, I will definitely look for more Aspen titles in the future, and I strongly recommend them if you are a viewer that is interested in different types of comic books. So again, if you're interested in beautiful artwork, a variety of titles, and different type of protagonists, check out Aspen comic books. I know I will. Now, with that out of the way, let me talk about Dissension War Eternal, the comic book itself. And first and foremost, I must give credit to the creators of this comic book. Right? This comic book is written by Christopher Fielder. It is penciled by Jordan Gunderson. It is colored by Luis Guerrero, and it is lettered by Taylor Esposito. I have to say, I think they did a fantastic job in this comic book. I mean, everything is just phenomenal. In fact, I first saw my first taste of Dissension was in this free comic book day special. This as a preview of Dissension. Here we go, and this is also they also had a preview of another comic book, New Way, which is also interesting. I don't have any immediate plans to buy it, but I will definitely keep an eye out for in the future. Anyway, according to the Dissension, the preview starts off thousands and thousands of years ago, during the last ice age, and focuses on a group of travelers, migrants, immigrants. I don't know what you want to call them. The people who crossed the land bridge at the Bering Strait that once connected what is now Russia with what is now Alaska, and they are basically the progenitors of the various native groups that populated the North, Central, and South American continents. The Native Americans, the Inuit, the Aztecs, Incas. These are basically their ancestors. Now, the narrator for this story is Sangalak. He was the leader of his tribe. Now, one day, while out hunting with a group of hunters, Sangalak and the others come across a group of beings, strange beings, the likes of which they had never seen before. Beings who, pretty much as soon as they see Sangalak and the other hunters, proceed to very quickly and very brutally slaughter them. I mean, they just rip most of the hunting party up to shreds, with the exception of Sangalak, who survives, but his mind is controlled by one of these beings, who he calls demons. Now, interestingly, he calls them demons, I think, because of the evil they committed, but I think he's actually right. They might actually be demons, but they are not your typical idea of demons. In fact, here's a picture that shows you a little bit idea of what these creatures, these demons, look like. And I have to say, it's a very interesting design, very new, very different than what we're used to seeing when it comes to demons. Oh, and by the way, the character on the left-hand side, or the figure that has the armored figure that has the horns and the wings, his name is Arkaya, and he's the leader of these demons. So anyway, after the hunting party is butchered and Sangalak is controlled, these demons proceed to enslave his people, and for a number of years, I'm not sure how many, they just torment those poor people. They brutalize them, they force them to work non-stop on this grand fortress. It's a horrible existence. Now, eventually, these demons are met by and defeated by a group of beings that I can only describe as angels. And here's a picture of these angels. Now, as you can clearly see, these are not your harp-playing, lounging on a cloud variety of angels. These seem to be the warrior angels, the Old Testament deliverer of God's vengeance kind of angels. And I got to say, I like the very warrior princess Xena kind of vibe to these beings. Very cool, very eye catching, and just like, wow, that's awesome. So anyway, that is the basic overview of the preview as seen in this Free Comic Book Day special. I gotta tell you, after I read that, I was instantly hooked, and I said to myself, okay, as soon as possible, I have to go to the comic book shop I frequent and tell the owner to add this to my pull list because I want to read more. And I have to say, based on the first issue, I am not displeased I did. Now, this first issue takes place in modern times in a world, I would say, very much like our own, except for one key difference, and that is that the US and China have engaged in a war. Not a trade war, mind you, an actual physical bombs and guns and soldiers kind of war. Which is actually, when you think of it, a very big nightmare scenario given that both countries are very big and have very powerful militaries. Ooh, this is not going to be this is not going to be good. Now, that's not going to be good for anybody. Now, during the middle of this war, we are introduced to the main character, a young woman named Delphi, and here's a picture of her to show you who she is, gives you an idea of her look. Now, you might be thinking Delphi, like the Oracle of Delphi from ancient Greece, and actually, yeah, I would say yeah. Apparently there's a connection to it because, like the famed Oracle of Delphi, this young woman also has visions that center around the demons, these that I talked about previously. Now, she doesn't really understand the vision, she doesn't have a clue what these means, but apparently, whatever it is, these visions place her right in the middle of whatever of this storyline and make her the central figure. Now, what her exact role is, why she's having these visions, has yet to be explained in this issue. Apparently, I guess, hopefully they will go on as the story progresses and the issues come out. More and more of this character will be fleshed out, and we'll get a better understanding of her role in this character. But again, this young woman is named Delphi, and apparently she works as a part of a group that helps get refugees out of the combat zone and take them to safety in other parts of the United States. Now, as I said before, in the preview, it looks like that the demons, the people who enslaved Sangalax people, were eventually overthrown, defeated, and by these angels. And we see these characters, apparently they spent thousands of years, I guess, roaming space, looking for other worlds to perhaps conquer, or just other people to slaughter, because they really don't like other forms of life. But they apparently never forgot their defeat, nor did they forget Earth. Because apparently they have a special animosity for humanity. Because again, if these are demons, if these are fallen angels, then they look at humans as God's current favored creation, and they see themselves as discarded, as being abandoned in favor of us. And so they want revenge on us for the crime of existing. Think of it as a celestial version of sibling rivalry. Of course, most siblings aren't trying to eradicate each other, so there's a bit of a difference. Anyway, so that's Dissension War Eternal. It's a good first issue. It doesn't give away too much, but I think it does a nice job of setting the stage, gives an idea of the players, and creates a good starting off point for future development. And I like that. I like the idea of a comic book not giving away too much in the first issue, especially when they know they have several issues to go in a particular storyline. I like the build-up. I like pacing of giving us a bit more with each issue. Because really, if you know everything in the first issue, why even bother picking up the second issue, or even why bother making a second issue if there's nothing left to tell? So I like that. It's a good issue. It's a good start. Now, one thing I really wish I could do is show you more of the artwork because oh, this comic book is just it's fantastic. The artwork is brilliant, but I don't want to show too much because I don't want to get in trouble with copyright issues. Plus, I don't want to ruin anything for you, the potential reader. This is a comic book I feel like you have to read, sit down with, whether it's in paper or electronic version, and just read it. Take your time, explore the artwork, look at all the wonderful detail. Just really soak it all in. What I can do is give you what I feel is a good example of the caliber of the artwork, which is this picture. Now I love it. The detail's wonderful, and the use of the color, the blues, the sort of bluish grays, the reddish light. It gives you a wonderful sense of a sunset, of a frigid environment. I mean, I almost got chills looking at this page. And again, this is just a good example of the wonderful work done by Mr. Gunderson and Mr. Guerrero. Again, beautiful artwork. I can't say enough about it. It just draws me in. It's wonderful. So really, folks, if you do get this comic book, which I hope you do, it's a wonderful comic. Really, take your time to examine the artwork. Just soak it in. It's wonderful. It's beautiful. So anyway, that's just sort of my review, my take on Dissension War Eternal. It's a wonderful comic book. I'm intrigued by Delphi. I'm interested to see where she goes and what her particular role has to play. I love the design of the demons. It's very unique, It's a very unique take on demons. Again, I just want to read more. I can't wait for issue 2 to come out, which will, I think, be soon enough. So anyway, if you're interested in a unique comic book, I recommend Dissension War Eternal. In fact, I'd recommend Aspen in general. It looks like they got some good work. So anyway, I just want to say to all of you, thanks for watching. Please feel free to comment below, but please be civil. Oh, and if you're a viewer who knows Aspen comic books and has a better idea of their work, please feel free to comment and give me an idea of a particular title you like or a storyline you like, or something you feel that is a good starting off point for a new reader such as myself. I would really appreciate it. I would love to hear your feedback and your thoughts on this company. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.